and welcome to today's daily math review. Today's problems for long division was 225 divided by 45. So the first thing we need to do is we need to guess and check approximately how many times we're going to do this. So 45 does not divide into 2. 2 is smaller than 45. 45 does not divide into 22 because 45 is larger than 225. 45 does divide into 225. And what I always say is look at the first number here. Look at these first two numbers here. So I'm going to guess and check based upon the fact that 4 would go into 22 about 5 times. Okay, so I want the pen, not the highlighter. I'm going to guess and check 45 times 5. 5 times 5, 5. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2. Oh, look, I just found it. I'm going to guess and check 5. And I'm actually going to put that in because that is the answer. 5 times 45 is 225. If I needed to continue it, I could. Okay, I did the multiplication. I subtract. There's nothing else to bring down, so the answer is 5. That one was pretty short. If you need more review of long division, I would suggest you look at the prior 2 days. Next one, what is the GCF of it actually on today's? What is the GCF of 12 and 20? So things that multiply together to get 12. 1 times 12 is 12. If I'm using my multiplication chart, I can see that if I look at the 2 column, 2 times 6 is 12. If I look at the 3 column on my multiplication chart, I can see that 3 times 4 is 12. There's nothing in between 3 and 4, so those are my factors of 12. Moving on to 20. I see that I can do 1 times 20. Give me 20. 2 times 10 would give me 20. If I'm looking at my multiplication chart, 3 is not a factor of 20. 3 times something, there's nothing in that multiplication chart row, but I would see that I could do 4, and 4 times 5 is 20. There's no whole numbers. That's part of my vocabulary in between 4 and 5. So now I need to find the factors that they have in common. They both share 1 as a factor. They both share 2 as a factor. They both share 4 as a factor. 12 has additional factors of 6 and 12, but those are not in the 20 column. So the GCF of 12 and 20 is 4. Okay. Moving on to the LCM. That was the other day's problem. So today's problem was the LCM of 8 and 10. So to do LCM problems, I'm going to visually set it up like this. My stopping point is 80. I'm going to do factors of 10 first. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Factors of 8. I'm not sure. I can look at my multiplication chart and see that 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. If I can't do that, I can add by 8. 32 plus 8 is 40. 40 plus 8 is 48. I could keep going, but I can see that these share a multiple of 40. Because I want the one that's the least, I don't have to keep going once I find it. The LCM of 8 and 10 is 40. Next problem was multiply. But it was not this, it was actually 10.07 times 0.09. So we do not have to do much long multiplication in these, because if you notice, she keeps giving us as the second number. There's only one digit there. That makes sense. But let's go through this. 7 times 9 is 63. So I'm going to put a 3 here. I'm going to carry the 6. 9 times 0 is 0. But I have to add the 6. Then I'm going to do the 9 times this 0 is 0. And 9 times 1 is 9. The next step would be multiplying 0. But since it's 0, and 0 times 0 is 0, there's really nothing to do there. So now I need to figure out where to put my decimal space. There are 2 digits here behind the decimal space, and there are 2 digits here behind the decimal space. So I would move this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, as I'm doing this, I'm feeling like I might have written the problem down wrong. And it might have been this. Okay? If it was, when I multiplied, I would still get 3, 6, 0, 9. But instead of a total of 4 spaces, this is 2 decimal space here, this is 3 decimal spaces, I would need a total of 5. So I want to point out that if you do that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and fill in that space with a missing 0. So as I said, as I'm going over the problem, I feel like I might have written it down wrong, so I want to go over that. And the last one is, which of these words apply? And the answer was, the question was 5 3/8. 5 3/8 is rational. Remember, I told you pretty much everything would be rational. It is not whole, and it is not an integer. It is not those if it has a fraction or a decimal. Okay, so the only word that describes this is rational. Thank you so much for watching.